All right, I started this video and got cut off. I always like to talk to the locals, so it's important. You're on the road so long by yourself. So anyway, let's go back to this guy. This is a 2006 Jeep Wrangler LJ. It is in the TJ series. So if you're not familiar with the Jeeps and how they signify their series, LJ is just the longer Jeep. Yes, it's I don't know if that's what it means. I mean, that's kind of what we've always called it. It's unlimited, okay? And it's 04 to 06. And they did make an unlimited J cadence. You got to be careful with those because oftentimes people do get those two confixed. And those, confixed, is that even, they get them mixed. I've been driving for a long time, 5,000 miles without AC, and I'm a little bit delirious. So anyway, back to this guy. They couldn't be further from each other. The TJ series is really the last of Chrysler Mopar, that AMC era, and after that Stellantis has taken over. And I'm not going to sit here and badmouth that Jeep at all, or that company at all, I should say, but I'm not a huge fan of them. I love the older ones up to 06. They're my favorite, and therefore you got my little soapbox. So it's an 06 LJ Unlimited with 139,000 miles. It's going to be compatibility on the motor 05, 06 only. Trust me, I've been doing this a long time. That is the only interchange, regardless of what anybody else out there tells you is possible. Anything is possible, but I'm telling you, for bolt-in, easy, it is 05, 06 only. And there are some problems with the 05, 06 motor, so you got to make sure. We don't even know. This thing has not been tested, has not been compressioned, has not been ran. It says it ran and drove. We'll see about that. It's going to have an automatic, obviously with the matching miles, and an MP231J. Signifying for the Jeep. Okay, so that's it. The mechanic wise on this thing, it is exactly like an LJ. There is nothing, or a TJ, there's nothing different between the two. So 05, 06 is cross compatible for harnesses, for ECMs, for pretty much everything as far as that goes. And then the drivetrain components minus the engine, which is 05, 06 only. The transmission 03 to 06. Transfer case, you can go freaking from the 80s all the way up. A couple little things, but they'll bolt right on. Okay. Just call me, 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com. My name is Jeremy. Call me if you have any questions with compatibility. It's way easier than trying to go online and cipher through a million forums of people contradicting each other, which is exactly what I find mostly on forums anymore. I've been doing this for 21 years. I would say I'm fairly... I'm an expert in a sense. I hate calling myself anything. I'm an expert. But in that sense, I would say, yeah, I've been doing it long enough. I've earned those, earned that badge, I guess. So, and it doesn't cease to amaze when I learn something new. So I won't say I'm an expert and can't learn stuff new. I do learn stuff new every day, and I'm open to that. So let's go over the tub and the outside and the frame, because that's really what is going to make or break this buy for us. They're very sought after, and we're wanting rust free here, or we're wanting very minimal rust. There is a little bit of leeway when it comes to an LJ just because the rarity of them, but we don't want anything just absolutely blown out. So it's going to be a little hard to see on this frame because somebody's not only on the tub, they rhino lined it, which is not a bad thing, but it looks like they've done the same to this frame, which again, not a bad thing if they were preventing rust. We just don't want to see hiding rust, okay? And we won't really know the extent of this tub, although that torque pocket looks to be good there. It's hard to say until you actually pull these mounts off. I will say the first 100,000 miles of this Jeep was a fleet Jeep, which I don't know what that actually meant. You can see there's your liner that's on it. That's not factory, but underneath it looks to be good. This is a spot that likes to be very problematic on Jeeps and typically is blown out here. Actually, this frame, I think we nailed a good one. That feels awesome. So we always scope them and measure them, and we'll clean it up with the hot seat, which is down at the moment, but this thing looks pretty solid. The bottom of that guy, there's indicators that I like to look for there. So I think we're going to score a good frame, and I've seen a little bit bleed through here, not super uncommon, and it doesn't feel bad on the inside of that. But again, until we get her all stripped down, we won't know how she is. Oh, she's got full carpet in her still, probably because, and look, every pine cone around. That's actually I like seeing carpet in them. because it means the top's probably never been off, especially carpet that's not absolutely disgusting. This is dirty, but not terrible. It's got early seats in it. Yes, these are 9702 Sahara seats. And not uncommon, and I'll tell you why. These seats are higher profile, so people that are a little shorter like to be a little higher. It does have AC, and of that, that's about it, which is awesome. So I think we might luck out with that one. I don't know what that thing is, some sort of toggle, probably a light switch or something. These guys are probably going to kick me out of this lot here soon. They're starting to get a little busy, so I got to secure this hood. We'll open it up real quick. All right, wow, look at that. It looks like a mouse lived in here. It looks like a pack rat for sure. So we'll have to clean all that off and make sure she's going to fire up good. She said she ran and drove, so we'll see. I don't want to suck any of that into the engine compartment. It has Jasper engines and transmissions and a serial number here. So either the engine, the transmission, or the differential transmission or transfer case was replaced on this guy. And we should have another sticker that follows that. So we'll have to see what they replaced on it. That's not a bad thing. Jasper's one of the few builders out there that's actually a good builder and they stand behind their stuff. So we're gonna secure that. We're running backwards on this guy. I'm gonna tell you guys something. Little cheat sheet here. That's probably really good. Always when you buy a Jeep at an auction or from anybody, make sure that the hardtop is secure. Look at that right there. See that? Somebody gets in here, I don't know if they fuck around in these things or what, but look at that. No bolts in this thing. Now, had I taken, oh, there's one back there. Had I taken off, looks like there's 2 bolts there. Had I taken off without checking this, Mr. Ken Rash, a buddy of mine who also owns a Jeep junkyard, that one's secure now, could tell you and attest to how dangerous for not only you and for others on the road it is to not check those. And he lucked out, but at the same time, he didn't luck out because, and Ken, you can correct me if I'm wrong here, but he lost the hardtop, and that's very valuable. When we buy these Jeeps, we look to get these hardtops out of them. So let's see, that one's secure. So, and to be honest with you, I don't check them all that often either. This one's got them on the very far back, but since we're going downward back, we're facing the other way, and we got the front on here. We'll see if it lips up at all in the back. If it doesn't, I'll probably throw a small strap on her just to be sure. This thing looked like it torpedoed a branch here, and it chipped a little bit off on that front, but doesn't look like it caused any structural damage. Did a ton of damage to that windshield frame, unfortunately. So that's smoked on it. But we got some of those back at the house, or back at the yard, so we're good there. So let's take a quick peek on this side and just see if we see. Man, I was really thinking we might not get a good frame or tub out of this guy because I couldn't see it, and I knew it had been lined, but it is actually, they did a good job. This is probably professional done. So it'll have a nice LJ lined. And yeah, you can get this shit off, but it isn't very easy. So hopefully you were in the market for one of these. It's easier to sand it if you're gonna do anything. Or repaint it. You can paint this stuff. This stuff is usually paintable. Just depends on what you want to do with it. But the fact that we have an LJ tub is super hard to get. This won't last long, especially once we get it up on the site. A little bleed through there, but again, hopefully this thing turns out to be solid as can be. And so far, I mean, this is right where you check them. This is the area, and we still throw a scope through them just because, but that right there will usually tell you if a frame's good or not. So let's see, do I have any? Oh yeah, that ain't going nowhere. So those bolts in the back look like they'd be holding this down. We'll just check back here, make sure there's none of these. There's the tree they probably hit, kept as a souvenir. Even the struts are actually, they're not great, but they're holding somewhat. So we'll have a nice hard top in this. Let's just make sure these bolts go somewhere. They're not just, yeah, we're good there. Not the factory ones, but hey, they're better than nothing. And that one's good too. So because if I had this thing turned around, I would not be able to roll that, but I'll be able to roll these down without, roll this down the road without much effort on that, or otherwise I'd be going to the hardware store. All right, cool. Well, I'm not even gonna mess with the motor right now. It's too dang hot to mess with it. So we'll see if it's got, I doubt it has a good battery in her, but we'll see. Yeah, she did. They usually are. I seen the gauge down here. That's a battery gauge. I don't know why they put a battery gauge in it. So hopefully the harness isn't foobarred up, but we won't know that until there's a windshield washer line there. OBD port there. Got a nice full console in it. Looks like got something in the back here of some kind of bumper or some extension of a bumper. And then the sound bars and whatnot. So yeah, cool. Well, I think we did okay. Nice black panels. Got the little infamous crack they always get. But agate panels are hard to get, especially doors. And those doors, they were done well. They look good. All right, super pumped. That's always unnerving, but this one is a good deal at Copart. We'll do okay on that guy. Could have been far worse, trust me. I've been in this lot before and had to bring managers out because they deceive people. So maybe things are changing. I'll only base that off the experience I have today. Go from there. I do have to do one more video, a short one, for our Facebook guys, and that's just going to be a brief overview. 303-666-9020, partsbreakers.com, guys. Call, because you guys are going to go to our website and you're not going to see a lot for LJs. And the reason is because they part faster than we have a chance to list parts, which is a good thing. Listing parts takes a long time. So call if you want something on this. If anything I mentioned, if you call in any of the mechanical parts, I'll have details on those and how they work when I get back home, and hopefully I'll be home by tomorrow. Thank you and God bless.